Namah Shivaya. Om Matreya Namaha. I bow down to the divinity in you. Please start your video so I can see you. Who am I interacting with today? And who's here, whom I know and whom I don't know. Om Namah Shivaya. Thank you, everybody, for joining into this wonderful, wonderful introduction towards Shakti, or Mother Kundalini herself. Now, before we start off, because we have a very, very 10-pointed awareness, let's begin with a tiny little short meditation from a tantra known as Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, so that we can align and center ourselves into this class. Sit very comfortably wherever you are. And this is going to be a short 10-minute meditation to start off. So wherever you are, just sit comfortably, keep your back erect, unless and until you have any kind of issues physically and you cannot sit straight up. Even if you take a back rest, it's absolutely okay. The posture should be still and comfortable. That's the most important factor in meditation that we have to understand. Sthira Sukham Asanam says Sage Patanjali in Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. Sthira means still, Sukha means comfortable. So don't assume postures in which you will not be still for the next 10 minutes. If everybody is ready, just give me a thumbs up and we can begin almost immediately. Lovely. The rest of the people, please start your videos because this is really important, this interaction, you know. If you can't, it's okay. But if you put the videos on, it's even more powerful, this session for you guys. So once you have assumed your posture, close your eyes, please. Eyes completely relaxed inside your eyelids. Soft gaze, no force of any kind in these meditations. Sit comfortably, close your eyes. Soften your gaze towards your eyelids. And just gently take your awareness to your breath. Just witness yourself, notice yourself, breathing in and out naturally at this very moment. Inhaling and exhaling. And keeping a gentle awareness on this inhalation and exhalation of the breath. Your mind might go here and there towards many, many worldly things. Keep guiding yourself back gently towards the awareness of the breath. Notice the inhalation process and notice the exhalation process. Just keeping your awareness on this breath. Every breath that you take, filling yourself with energy from the entire universe, and exhaling and letting go of anything that you've been holding that is very stagnant and not required for you. Inhaling energy, prana, and exhaling and letting go. Inhaling the energy, exhaling and letting go anything that is heavy and burdensome on yourself right now. Keep this process going on for the next few moments to come. Take a breath in, deeply, filling your lungs completely, and exhaling fully, emptying your lungs totally. Breathing in deep, filling your lungs till the bottom, and exhaling fully, emptying your lungs completely. Breathing in deep, exhaling fully. Breathing in deep, exhaling fully. Breathing in deep, exhaling, fully emptying your lungs completely. Inhale deep, exhale fully. Return back to your regular pattern of breathing. Breathe in, breathe out, and then pause. Don't take the next breath in again so quickly. Inhale, exhale, and keep your breath out. Breathe in, out, and pause between the two breaths. Breathe in and out, and pause. Watch this pause between the two breaths. Breathe in and out, and pause. Inhale, exhale, pause. Breathe in and out and pause. Keep watching this gap between the two breaths. Inhale, exhale, pause. Inhale, exhale, pause between the breaths. Inhale, exhale, and pause. Inhale, exhale, pause. Breathe in, out, pause. Keep breathing in, breathing out, and keep watching this pause between the two breaths for the next few moments to come. Practice at your own pace and keep watching the pause. Inhale, exhale fully, and watch this pause. Stop watching the pause between the two breaths and return back to your regular pattern of breathing. Take a deep breath in. Exhale fully. Take a deep breath in. Exhale fully. Take a deep breath in. Exhale fully. Bringing your hands into a pose of Namaste at the heart center. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave. Satchidananda Murtaye. Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. Rub the palms of your hands together, generating heat. Faster, 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 faster. Put them over your face, your eyes. Slide them to the top of the head. Coming from behind the head towards the neck, coming around the neck into a pose of Namaste at the heart center. Bow down and thank yourself for giving time in this meditation and joining this journey ahead. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Matreya Namaha. Gently, gently open your eyes. Not bad. 10 minutes of a meditation, and we are absolutely and completely centered into this class. So, my friends, a very, very hearty welcome, firstly, to you guys, because Kundalini is not about the mind, Kundalini is about the heart itself. Now, many, many people over the period of time have embarked on a journey to seek something that is more than ordinary knowledge that is available through our senses. Something that is enveloping this entire cosmos itself. We all have wanted to know the birth of the cosmos, our part in it, what is our process in it, and how to merge with the total reality, as they call it. That state, when you achieve it through specific practices of obtaining this knowledge from the entire cosmos itself and beyond that, is known as a path to awakening, or path to enlightenment, or path of absolute kaivalya, as it says in yoga, or aloneness and grandeur of that aloneness as well. To seek this path, many, many people have taken different routes. Some people have taken the route of yoga. Yoga having hatha yoga, yoga having its practices like Ashtanga yoga and so on as well. And then there is the path, which is specifically made for, not for people who are ascetics in life. What do I mean by ascetics? To go to the cave and meditate, to leave this entire life and go and meditate somewhere deep in a cave. leaving your family, leaving the life itself, leaving your friends. No, that is one path. Of course, that path is also very, very valuable and can get you towards this absolute and total awakening. But there is another path which says that you don't have to leave anywhere, because wherever you are in the midst of pure consciousness and you are in the midst of pure energy. All beings around you contain that same consciousness and same energy. Every place that you are contains that same consciousness and same energy that is very, very pure in nature. That path says that you don't need to leave anywhere. You don't need to leave your family life. You don't have to become a vegetarian or a non-vegetarian or this or that, which gives you absolute and complete freedom to be yourself. A path specifically made for people who have family, people who have friends, and people who have this beautiful divine life presented in front of them. Not to leave, but to accept this all. And still, being in this materialistic worldly life, be absolutely and totally spiritual and achieve that which abstinence achieves as well. So one path was of abstinence is yoga. The path of acceptance of it all is known as Tantra. And whenever you people hear the word Tantra, suddenly people back off, because how media has portrayed Tantra to be as. So there are paths in Tantra as well. Paths which are known to take you towards the left side. Vama Marga, as we call it. The left path. And then there is Dakshinavarta path, which takes you towards the higher consciousness through specific practices. Tantra, as people believe, is like generally people in whenever I travel across the world and tell people about Tantra, they believe it to be sex in nature. But no, Tantra is not about sex. Tantra is the methodology. Tan means the body. Tra comes from Shastra, the science of utilizing this entire body to achieve complete and total awakening within yourselves. Tan, body. Tra comes from Shastra. Its nature, Tantra and its nature is very, very weaving. It says yes to all. If you are a family man, you can do the sadhana and yes, you will get there. If you have friends and you go out with your friends and have a drink once in a while, it's absolutely okay in the path of Tantra. But keep doing your sadhana. That's what Tantra says. Keep doing your practice of meditation. So this Dakshina Marga, a path of Dakshina Marga is known as Trika Tantra, which lineage I come from. An unbroken lineage of 2000 years of masters passing the knowledge from mouth to your ears. Only a handful of us know the secret of all secrets. Only a handful of us. And Trika Tantra is that secret of all secret as it's known. Coming from this 2000 years plus lineage, I present myself to you and I bow down in front of you to light the lamp of consciousness and energy within you. I'm Amitabh. I will be your facilitator and guide for the next 1 hour to come. Tantra or Trika Tantra originates itself in Kashmir, as it's called. Now, Pakistan occupied Kashmir mostly, where there was a place known as Sharda Peeth, which was by the river Saraswati. That's why it was called Sharda Peeth, because Sharda is another name of goddess Saraswati, who's the bringer of knowledge itself. she holds the key to the entire process of knowledge, and knowledge being Shakti or Kundalini herself as well. Goddess Saraswati is the one who bestows us with that grace to take this knowledge right now. Now, being on the path, on the river Saraswati, which is now disappeared, of course, and being from this Pakistan-occupied Kashmir Valley, Triat Tantra is also known as Kashmir Shaivism. Kashmir Shaivism. Many people know about Kashmir Shaivism as far as their progress on spirituality is concerned. And when we ask people about Kashmir Shaivism, oh yeah, Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, that's the word, that's the book which is very, very well known. That's the scripture that is very, very well known as far as Tantra is concerned. Having 112 specific techniques, out of which you did one right now, watching the pause between the two breaths. There are 111 more plus one techniques like these to center your awareness completely and take you towards the Mother Kundalini and Shiva and Shakti themselves. So basically, what exactly is Triat Tantra? Let me explain you in a simple language. For us, students and masters of Triat Tantra, Shiva is known as consciousness itself. Supreme God consciousness that prevails inside of you right now, prevails inside of me right now, prevails in a rock, prevails in a tree, prevails in a lizard, prevails in a snake, prevails in your cat and dog. Consciousness is everywhere. Without beginning or the end, this consciousness continuously prevails. Within your body, there are 37.4 trillion cells which know exactly what to do and how to do it. A supreme intelligence of this consciousness flows through you at this very moment through those 37.4 trillion cells. This consciousness, which prevails everywhere into this entire universe, we take that pure supreme consciousness and we name it as Shiva. That which is in everything, yet not to be found. That is one aspect of Triat Tantra, the pure consciousness itself. The second concept of Triat Tantra, Trika, the word itself means three. The second very, very amazing concept of Triat Tantra is that consciousness is not still and empty. Consciousness is dynamically vibrating at all moments of time. At every moment, within this sphere of consciousness and within this sphere of creation, there is dynamic nature of vibration always available. And this dynamic vibration, which is always with this pure supreme consciousness, is known as Shakti or energy itself. This Shakti or this energy cannot be separated from this supreme consciousness. That is why it is said Shiva, the supreme consciousness, and Shakti, the energy within this supreme consciousness, are always together, and they cannot be unbound and separated. And then there is you. This supreme consciousness and supreme energy, Shiva and Shakti, which is there around everywhere, when you were being created as a tiny little one singular cell, contracted into you, making you alive in totality. making you aware about yourself in totality, making you walk, making you talk, making you digest food, making you hear my words, see me right now, making you breathe, making you talk, taste food. The supreme consciousness and energy does that into you, and which is always and already is awake. This consciousness is always awake. This energy is always awake inside of you. So this supreme consciousness, Shiva, the supreme energy, Shakti, and you as a jiva or a limited atomic particle of this consciousness and energy are very, very awake in yourself right now. This consciousness and energy is very, very awake inside of you right now. I may quote Rumi out here for that matter, the Sufi saint Rumi. He talks about love a lot, but somewhere he has said something very, very beautiful, that consciousness sleeps in minerals. You look at a rock or an object like this. This is kept together, but it's in a state which is insentient state. So consciousness is there in that, putting these atoms together in that rock, in that bowl. It's keeping itself together. So consciousness is there, but it's sleeping. That's what Rumi says. Consciousness sleeps in the minerals, dreams in plants. If you look at a tree, just observe a tree. It knows where the sun is. It knows where the water is. It directs its roots towards water, and it directs itself towards the sun as well. So consciousness dreams in plants, but it's there. It becomes, this same consciousness, it becomes self-aware in animals. Insects and animals, both. A dog, a cat, and a lion, a giraffe, a zebra are all self-aware. Even a cockroach is self-aware. So in insects and animals, it becomes self-aware. Only in us human beings, it's absolutely and totally realized. We are here listening about this consciousness, about this energy. But a cat and a dog cannot do that, of course. So Rumi beautifully says, consciousness sleeps in minerals, dreams in plants, becomes self-aware in animals, and becomes realized in human beings. And that complete realization to achieve in a human being, known as jiva in Triat Tantra. Firstly, we may have to understand that this consciousness, this energy, it's not separate from you. It's who you are. That is your essential nature. You are already awake. This consciousness and energy is already awake, but you are not awake to this consciousness and energy at this very moment. And our work as jiva, or a limited atomic particle of this consciousness and energy, is to merge with this supreme unlimited consciousness and unlimited supreme energy itself. So the path is being practiced for many, many thousands of years. Only 2000 years back, we have made a system of Triat Tantra, but Tantra has come 5000 years prior. The first ever Tantra, which is known as Rudrayamala Tantra, appears 5000 to 6000 years back, a printed one. Now, the work of the consciousness we understand, of course. And how does the Trika path follow? That I must tell you, because it's a beautiful path to follow as well, which is a very, very quick path, not too quick, but quicker path towards your awakening as well. So Trika, being the path of three, works with three very, very important pathways to realize ourselves. Three different pathways to realize ourselves. First path in Trika Tantra is known as bhakti or surrender. Now, this surrender is not faith. Faith can be blind. Surrender happens only when you are putting in total and absolute intellect within yourselves. Intellect to discern right from wrong. If I want to watch Netflix or if I want to do my sadhana or my practice, that intellect. And the surrender towards this supreme energy known as Shakti and God consciousness known as Shiva. Completely and totally in surrender of that, which is inside of you and outside of you. Total and complete surrender towards that is known as Bhakti Marga in Trika Tantra, or the path of Bhakti. Second path after that is known as Jnana or knowledge. My friends, let me tell you this thing very, very clearly right now, that action without knowledge is foolishness, of course. And more on to that as well, knowledge and no action is also foolishness. So, knowledge is the bridge that takes you towards this self-realization and complete and total awakening as well. Bhakti, surrender, is the first path of Trika. Second path of Trika Tantra is known as knowledge or Jnana itself. Knowledge achieved by perfect means or scriptures that have been written. The Tantra scriptures known as Agama texts, taking knowledge from there is very, very important. And this knowledge, because it's, people may buy books. People, you might buy all the books of Agama texts or these sacred scriptures of Trika Tantra, but you will not understand anything out of that, because the entire traditions of reading these scriptures and understanding and absorbing these scriptures is a mouth to ear tradition. So second path is the knowledge gained from correct means. And the third path is known as the path of action. What do we mean by action? The third path is known as Kriya. Kriya means action. Now, don't confuse it with Maha Avatar Babaji and Paramhansa Yogananda's Kriya Yoga. Don't confuse it with that. Kriya in Kashmir Shaivism is a little different. Otherwise, in yoga or the Kriya Yoga, that is known as path of action. Path of action. Yoga of action is known as Kriya Yoga. But in Trika Tantra, we tell you that yoga in action, not yoga of action, but yoga in action. Not during your meditation only, but outside of the meditation as well, you can continue the process of centering your energy and centering your consciousness again and again and again and again. Through that, you're not out of your sadhana at all. I have seen many, many people sit down for a meditation and feel absolutely amazing. But as soon as they come out of the meditation and the chaos of the world hits them, that bliss, that ananda that they have received in that meditation is lost. Trika Tantra makes you hold that energy, hold that Ananda Shakti, and hold it in bliss. And you can be in bliss absolutely and totally in any situation in totality. That's what the path, the threefold path of Trika Tantra is. So let's understand this Shakti. As we very well know, that before there was nothing. But that nothing was everything as well, known as the Supreme Consciousness, prevailed before any objects came into creation. This Supreme Consciousness, known as Lord Shiva himself in Trika Tantra, is in deep meditation without any actions being performed. No action of creation has been taken into consideration by this Para Brahman or Supreme Brahman itself, or known as Shiva as well. There is no desire to create something for this consciousness. It's in a way, this consciousness itself is meditating upon its own true nature. That is consciousness. Nothing is being generated into that consciousness at that very moment. And suddenly, something rises within this supreme, unlimited, timeless consciousness, something very tiny little vibration that occurs into this sphere of consciousness itself. A vibration so tiny, so little, and so nano-atomic in nature, known as Spanda in Trika Tantra or Kashmir Shaivism, Spanda. This tiny vibration, less vibration, such a tiny little vibration occurs into this consciousness and fills this entire sphere of consciousness with what we know as Ananda or bliss itself. And this consciousness from the insentient stage becomes very, very sentient and vibrant in nature. And the first thought comes to itself, to this supreme consciousness, that why am I experiencing all this alone? Why not have many like me who can experience this same bliss? And there begins the journey of creation itself. So the consciousness in itself is known as Chitta. Chitta in Sanskrit. It experiences Ananda within itself through this energy moving within itself. We already know how it must have felt. Like, have you become very, very happy and felt goosebumps ever? That's how brilliant this consciousness must have felt and said, like, I must share this with everybody. And this desire to share this with everybody is known as Ichcha, as we call it, or the will comes into this consciousness to create and create multiple like himself with this energy. Create multiples of himself and herself, Shivas and Shaktis. And thus begins the creation journey itself. First ever, this entire consciousness and energy now explode from one singular point outwardly. From singularity, it comes outward. And the journey of creation begins. And in this journey of creation, first come the atoms like first of the periodics in chemical periodical table, helium and hydrogen. Coming outwardly, a blast of energy comes out of this singularity and fills this entire sphere of cosmos. Fills it completely with dynamic fire. It fills itself. Millions and trillions of years later, this blast of energy and this fire coming outward from this singularity calms down. And first ever substances are created, objects are created, atoms stick to atoms, and the clusters of centers of galaxies are created. In these centers, fusion and fission, atomic fusion and fission starts to take place. And then what exactly happens is stars are born. From these stars, planets are born. And here we are in these trillions of galaxies in this entire cosmos, in this entire creation. A tiny little galaxy of ours, the tiniest little sun of ours, which rises from the east and gives us life itself. And then even tinier speck of dust is the planet Earth itself. And on this planet, something very, very special happens. You may call it coincidence or a supreme intelligence. I prefer the latter, the supreme intelligence itself, playing its way out on this planet. So this planet gets created and it's very volatile in nature. Very, very volatile in nature, this planet, upon its birth. Volcanoes spewing sulfur, carbon dioxide everywhere. And a few million years later, the entire gravity of the planet Earth, which is rotating on its own axis, creates a gaseous atmosphere around it. This is very well known as the greenhouse effect itself in science. Atmosphere gets created, sun rays get slightly blocked at this very moment, and the rain starts falling. Incessant rain for multiple lakhs and lakhs of years keeps falling. The planet cools down, yet no life on this planet. And from somewhere deep into space comes one tiny little comet, an asteroid, which comes in contact with our planet itself, breaks itself open, and this icy little comet has one singular cell that falls into the oceans, and with complete intelligence, with complete awareness, it absolutely understands at that very moment that this place is conducive for life itself. 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 4, 4 becomes 16. And here you are, you and me together on this beautiful planet, particle of that same energy and same consciousness, but created as 37.4 trillion cells inside of you, which is already awake and alive fully. What are you trying to awaken? But this. You are trying to awaken yourself. You have been sleeping till date. You are trying to awaken yourself towards this supreme energy and this supreme consciousness. And this supreme energy that is inside of you, making you speak, making you hear, making you see, making you smell, making you feel touch, is very alive. That energy which created this entire universe, that creative force, that creative Shakti of the Lord Shiva himself is inside of you right now. But what makes us sleep? Why are we not becoming Shiva and Shakti themselves? Why are we not merged into that consciousness and bliss? Is because while contraction was happening into your own body, contraction of consciousness and contraction of energy was happening inside of your body, there came Maya Shakti as well, the other side of Mother Kundalini herself. The energy that first comes out of Paramashiva or the supreme consciousness is known as Swatantra Shakti or Ma Kundalini herself. She's the one taking you rising towards grace. And then there is Maya Shakti, equal and opposite of her nature, making you fall and get contracted as well, putting bondages onto you, bondages of thoughts, bondage of feelings, bondages of actions. And to break out of those chains, practice of Triat Tantra has proven to be one of the most essential and quick processes that takes you towards this awakening, Like Kundalini, we should not say Kundalini awakening anymore. We should say my awakening. I have to awaken to this energy. I have to awaken towards this consciousness. So the path of Triat Tantra, as I told you, is towards bhakti, or the path of surrender in totality. We in India, we bow down even to a rock. Why? Because that supreme consciousness and energy is there as well. And we bow down to the entire cosmos as well. So bhakti, taking knowledge from the scriptures so you may remain in the state of awakening at all points of time. Jnana is very, very important, my friends. And then, most important factor of them all is, after taking this jnana, applying that jnana or applying that knowledge within you as well, in your sadhana perfectly. So many people depict Kundalini to be as, oh, you should not mess with Kundalini. There is truth in that weak argument as well. There is truth in that weak argument. Without a mentor who has experienced complete and total awakening themselves, you should not go on to that journey. Because there is a lot of hand-holding that will be required. You will have experiences which are absolutely surreal in nature as well. Somebody has to hold your hand and anchor you properly. The one who is available to you. Our Trika masters always said this. My Guruji always said this, that Amitabh, choose a guru that is available to you, who is available to you at all points of time, who can take you out if you're falling in darkness and take you towards the light of itself. That is the meaning of the guru. Being very ekagra is also very important in this journey. Ekagra means single-pointed. Lots of people do go for this course and that experience and this course and that experience all the time. I might quote Ramana Maharshi, one of the most prolific of saints in the latest times. Ramanaji says, those who are running behind experiences, alone are always in the web of Maya itself. People jump wanting to have one experience, one kind of experience, to other kind of experience, which is explosive in nature. So we have to recognize that Kundalini awakening is not one tiny little experience. But once you have touched base on that experience, continuing further with your journey is very, very important. Because in Buddhism also, in fact, that flash of awakening will come. A kind of tiny little experience is bound to happen, or an explosive experience is also bound to happen. Both experiences are possible. But if you have touch base on any kind of experiences, even Buddhism, or in Tibetan Tantra, they call it Dzogchen, they call it Satori. A glimpse of that. But once you've had that glimpse, a practice that will center you and make you awaken further more and more is of very much importance. And Triat Tantra exactly provides you with that itself. Along with jnana, or along with the knowledge that you take, with us, you know that this, what is happening to me, is proper or not. Many people run behind experiences alone, and that should not be the way and the path towards Kundalini awakening. You have to be firm with your practice, with your taking of knowledge and your surrender at every given moment. Very, like, you must be thinking it's a very difficult path, but no, it's a very easy path. You don't have to spend 3 hours morning and 3 hours evening in meditation with Triat Tantra. Even 30 minutes morning and 30 minutes evening is more than sufficient. The quality will matter, not the quantity of time. So what exactly do we offer out here as far as Shiva Shakti Vigyan is concerned? I studied under my guru for 14 years at his feet. And mind you, there was no Zoom online that time. I had to go every Thursday to his feet. I had to sit down. I have to read the scriptures. I had to take my notes, and I had to meditate with him. Again, you see bhakti towards the guru, jnana and kriya all involved, all three. Just like the Trishul of Shiva, this Trika is working for you. This Kundalini Shakti, which is the creative potential force inside of you, her work is only one, to take you towards him, towards this blissful consciousness, which is always there for you. Otherwise, why do we go into spiritual practices? To be happy, no, at the end of the day. Not to fluctuate in moments of happiness and then moments of sadness and moments of ecstasy and moments of absolute grief. Bliss is very way much apart from this. Bliss is continuous. It's a state of absolute and total flow of that consciousness. To reach that state, 3 years of practice is more than sufficient according to Triat Tantra. 3 years. And it's not too much, like, lighting a small lamp inside in your altar or your mandir on a daily basis, saying thank you. And I ask for 4 S's: Sukh, Shanti, Shakti, Samriddhi. Sukh means peace. Sukh means happiness. Shanti means peace. Samriddhi means personal growth, materialistic or otherwise, spiritual as well. Samriddhi in both, in a balanced way. Sukh, Shanti, Samriddhi and Shakti, the energy to handle this entire chaos of the world. Bowing down to that on a daily basis and asking that from something that is more supreme than you. That is how we go with bhakti. Taking in knowledge, I am always there for you. And then the last one is the kriya, which we will do a small tiny little meditation. And also I'm coming to Dubai very soon. I think 17th and 18th, is it, Laila? What dates am I coming? 1 second. Yeah, Laila, what dates am I coming there? I think Laila is busy somewhere. So 17th and 18th of May, I am coming there, where you will be able, 18 to 19. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you. 18th and 19th of May, I am there. Yeah. I will be doing a proper 2.5 to 3 days of a workshop, 2.5 days of workshop. Like, I will reach there on 17th evening. If you want to just come and relax and be there, like, like, let's get to know each other, have a cup of tea with me or coffee with me. 17th, let's meet. 18th and 19th are the 2 dates where I will be doing in-city retreat itself for you guys. And then this in-city retreat, we will take the tiniest parts of what Mother Kundalini is. Scientifically, how she is connected, and mystically, how exactly to work with her as well. We are going to do a lot of meditations from a very, very sacred text known as Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. And we are going to read one of the most sacred texts known as Shiva Sutras as well, and Shiva Samhitas as well. I'm going to take few things, little things from there and explain you everything what this is all about. And most importantly, you get a diksha or the initiation to practice perfectly. This initiation is known as Shakti Pata. Shakti Pata is the divine grace of Lord Shiva itself. It's not mine to hold, my friends. Let me be very, very humble with you guys. It's not my energy, it's his energy. But with vigorous practice and vigorous knowledge taking and absolute surrender, his grace has bestowed upon me so I can open the doors for you to awaken you and awaken you towards this Shakti that is Mother Kundalini and Shiva that is the primordial supreme consciousness itself, and make you absorbed in their love in totality, in their grace. Shakti Pata is a yogic transmission, as we call it. What happens is I'm sitting, you are sitting, Shiva and Shakti are always there inside of us and outside of us. We become a conduit to that grace itself in a group session with me. That's all there is to it. You may feel certain kind of experiences that will happen in that Shakti Pata, or maybe not. Maybe not, guys. So, but remember, I'll quote Osho out here. He talks about Kundalini somewhere, and he says something very, very beautiful. If you are going through all that in Kundalini awakening, then the master has not cleared your karmas properly. The job of Shaktipata is to make you start as a brand new slate itself. The job of Shaktipata to open the granthis or the knots, psychic knots that are tied in the Sushumna Nadi, which is the central vein inside your spinal column itself. So the Shaktipata opens these knots up completely, burning a lot of karmas that are stored in the energy centers of the body or the chakras themselves as well. That is one of the most prime ways to awaken yourself. A perfect mantra diksha also is given on this day for you to practice further as well. This mantra is very, very secretive in nature. And in a mantra diksha, the mantra, when it's given to you, you rotate that mantra inwardly within yourselves. Whenever, wherever, how much ever of utilization of that mantra to awaken yourself is, I leave it to you. How deeply do you want this energy to be absolutely awakened inside of you? That I leave it to you completely. I will be of a complete assistance to you guys. Always remember that from my end. So this entire process is 2 days of intensive knowledge being taken, intensive practices being done, and Shaktipata in its true nature, or this yogic transmission in its true nature, so that it assists your awakening completely. Many people go for processes which are not in the age-old sciences of the Kundalini processes. The process comes from India. The process comes from Kashmir Valley. First ever notion of Kundalini, first ever thought about Kundalini is in Shiva Samhita itself, which is again a Shaivite, Kashmir Shaivite scripture itself. First ever notification of Kundalini or a mention of Kundalini is placed right there. Hitesh, center yourself. Stop that. That's excess energy, my friend. Okay, center. Yeah, sit still in these. So when you work with yourself, you completely will be able to center yourself. You will be able to work through the materialistic life also in bliss, and spiritual life also will evolve along with that. That's the beauty of Trika Tantra, specifically made for family people, specifically made for people like you and me, who have friends, who have family, who want to enjoy life and not give up on life itself. So that is the nature of the course I'm going to do. Lots and lots of knowledge is going to be given, lots of practices you're going to learn, and lots of amazing stories and words of wisdom as well. And a lot of question and answers, of course, are going to be taken on those, specifically on 18th and 19th. So I am coming. You can either speak to Kathy or Leila and register yourself for these 2 days, which are absolutely going to be very, very essential for your journey ahead. To become one, we know the word known as samavesha. Becoming one, samavesha, to dive deep into this ocean of consciousness and energy, and then be in this blissful consciousness and energy forever. My assistance is always there beyond that 2-day workshop as well. We have a certain processes, regular practice sessions, lots and lots of meditations online generally, which happen in our Sangha, which is very, very vibrant. We have teacher training courses as well. I have mentorship, one-to-one mentorship processes as well. Lots and lots of it there to be offered. It's you who has to come and dip yourself into this ocean. That's all I might say. And so this is the basic process, as I may say. So remember what you have learned today. Primordial cosmic energy that prevails through this entire universe. She's like a mother. Don't be scared of her. She's the only way to reach Shiva, or this supreme consciousness. She's the only path. Shakti is the only path to awakening and becoming one with this supreme consciousness. So do not be scared of her. She's very nurturing in nature. She's very loving in nature. She will take care of you. If you do not fight her, and if you do not do forceful activities, she will be always gradually working with you towards your awakening. Residing at the base of the spine till the Sahasrara chakra, and beyond it into the entire universe. This mother who created this universe is always there. Do not be afraid of her. With a proper guide, with a proper mentor, the journey is very smooth, my friends. If you go onto YouTube and if you go on to processes that are coming out of like scriptures, they are not coming out of the scriptures, and you're going for processes like that, it can become very, very dangerous. Don't go in for practices like that. People who will claim to give you an experience in Kundalini awakening, no, that is not the way to go about it. That will just, like, what happens? There are two channels of this energy. One which is a downward flowing grace, and one that is the path of Shiva coming into you and his grace coming into you, and the Shakti moving upward to meet this grace. And without a diksha, if a proper diksha being given, if anybody is performing things onto you and they are raising the Kundalini energy from the frontal body, which is the flow of grace, which is the channel of flowing grace inward, then the Kundalini Shakti might get into what we call as Pishacha Avastha, or the incorrect rise of the Mother Kundalini, and can lead to devastation in life. I'm not trying to scare you out here. I'm just trying to give you the actual facts. The mother's energy has to be risen from the back, from the spinal column upward, so that the grace can fall to you and come into your being from the frontal channels of the body. So be very, very careful of who you are working with as far as this Shaktipata is concerned, because they may perform this Shaktipata, you might awaken the energy, and then your life will become absolute and total chaos. Your minds will become very, very confused, and you don't want that to happen, of course. So try to understand that the proper transmission has to happen very slowly. We always say in Trika Tantra, Prakasha is always there, or the light or the energy of the God consciousness is always there. Inseparable, just like the light of the fire, the heat of the fire are inseparable. This, the light of consciousness always is there. Prakasha is as it's called in Sanskrit. Vimarsha should be built by the jiva or an individual to recognize this prakasha. So prakasha and vimarsha, the cognition of that which is the pure consciousness, has to gradually get built into your own being. Then you will be able to recognize this very, very blissfully. Otherwise, it can play chaos because you will not fathom what this illumination is, what this grace is. Many people going for many fad-like processes. One should not go into those. Please understand that there is a lineage of gurus involved who pass on this energy one-to-one basis, and and after a lot of studies and hard processes. These Shaktipatas are given to us by our gurus, and we respect that Shaktipata, that we can transmit that energy to you. And there are levels in that transmission as well. Don't go in for a transmission which will go make you go into complete and total chaos. Be in that gradual process of awakening yourselves. So that is one of the most important points. Now, we have to balance our energy centers. There are separate practices of bija mantras, mudras, and things like that, which I'm going to share with you on 18th and 19th. And I'm going to share with you creative expression, how it's to be done from within you, a conscious evolution, how it's going to happen into you, the energy centers, how to clear them by yourselves. You don't need me at all points of time. You require, because it's your own energy and your own consciousness, you should be able to work with yourselves as well properly with a daily practice, daily sadhana. So that should take you towards that itself. Now, after that comes the union itself, the pure consciousness and dynamic creative force, energy, unlocks your unlimited potential. You saying, no, I can't do this, you will say, yes, I can. Within 6 months of these practices, what I'm giving you, a dynamic and a massive change will happen in your lives if you are following. 6 months, I'm telling you. 6 months itself. You'll look back and say, that old me, I have left that person somewhere. Like the snake shedding its skin itself, you'll renew yourself inside out, completely and totally, if you practice what is being given to you on 18th and 19th. Now, we have to understand that this entire process requires preparation, requires mantras, requires dhyana or meditation, requires a constant hand-holding and guidance, requires a lot of integration as well. What exactly happens if you don't reintegrate after a Shaktipata? Or you have taken a Shaktipata from a person who's not self-realized, who's not awakened in totality. What happens is a imbalance happens. Imbalance happens, and the fourth one, Kundalini awakening, happens prematurely, leading to physical, emotional, psychological disturbances as well. And then people say, like, okay, I practice this from YouTube, and I practice this from this person, and I have problems in my physical self. I have problems in my emotional upheavals are happening. I can't focus properly. I think I'm going mad. So wrong practices can lead you to this imbalance. Wrong practices can lead you towards ego inflation. Improper handling of Kundalini energy, which is not from old age scientific processes, which are the scriptures and the Shastras, what they provide you, that knowledge. If you go without it and that happens improperly, the Shaktipata happens improperly, it can inflate your ego and it can cause you spiritual bypassing and it will hinder genuine spiritual progress. As far as psychic imbalances, your energy starts getting very, very imbalanced. The energy might move towards the Agya Chakra completely, and the lower energy centers, which are Mooladhara and Swadhisthana and Manipura, get destroyed completely. They go completely out of sync. That can happen as well. So it can cause very, very humongous psychic disturbances. These result from these misguided practices themselves. Whenever I give you a practice, like today's practice, the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra says, Kumbhita rechita vapi purita va yada bhavet tadante shantanamaso shaktya shantah prakashate. We have these scriptures coming out of our beings in totality. We have practiced for years and years together to give you this. Kumbhita rechita vapi purita va yada bhavet. Means when you breathe in, then breathe out and keep the breath out. That is what first sentence says. Kumbhita rechita vapi purita va yada bhavet. Tadante shantanamasav shaktya shantah prakashate. When you do this technique, especially breathing in, breathing out, and keeping the breath out, what does it say? Shaktya shantah prakashate. She illuminates you. Shakti illuminates within you in a very blissful way, not in a very volatile way. Shakti should always move and illuminate you completely, and that has to be done very, very gradually. Just like you can't give masters in technology exam being in first standard, no? The same way it works. So today's practice, what I have given you, I am going to share the practice and its YouTube link also with you. So it becomes a preparation for the Shaktipata that is to come on 18th and 19th in Dubai. So it becomes a preparation for that Shaktipata. I want you to practice it. It is only 15 minutes morning, 15 minutes evening. And if you want to do 15 minutes in the afternoon as well, feel free to do that. So this practice in the beginning of the class, which you did today, I'm going to share that practice with you, share my YouTube link for that, and you can start the practice. And when I'm there, you receive a physical diksha from me to awaken this energy inside of you, opening the granthis completely, opening these psychic knots and barriers inside of you as well. So that diksha then can become your mainstay as a practice. Don't be a monkey jumping from one practice to the other, to the other, to the other, because that's not favorable as well. You cannot do that in the work of Kundalini. So you have to have, you have to understand that, spiritual experience can be misinterpreted. And people who are seeking shortcuts to Kundalini awakening without proper understanding via knowledge and preparation through your sadhana can get very, very massive ill effects of the Shakti itself. Because as I said before, one way she is the grace itself, and one way she's the illuminating grace, and one way she's the contraction and Maya as well. So you have to be very careful and you have to choose which path you are constantly moving in. So the approach has to be very, very cautious and a gradual one. Not that I'm going for this 3-day thing and I had so many experiences. Nothing has happened. Trust me, nothing has happened except for a futile little experience. You have to prioritize your entire being into this process, and while having friends, family, and having fun in that way as well. Okay. So that is the divine, the divine grace known as Shaktipata, or the transmission of spiritual energy from a realized master to the seeker. We have already spoken about this. The guru's role is facilitating Shaktipata and guiding the disciple through the Kundalini awakening process continuously. That is the process of a guru or a guru's role. That which was given to me as a lamp to light within myself, and giving it to you as well. I'm humbly giving it to you as well, to light later into others as well. Kundalini energy will have a very, very transformational impact on you. A spiritual growth and a materialistic growth both can be taken care of by Tantra practices. Humility, sincerity, devotion in receiving and honoring the gift of Shaktipata and for spiritual evolution is the utmost key towards this process. That ends today's class. I may take some time and take your questions and answers, if you have any, on what is going to happen on 18th and 19th, or if you want to ask me any questions, feel free to do that. Just raise your hand through the app and I will unmute you, and you can immediately ask me that question as well, if anything is in your mind. Sangeeta ji, namaste. Om Namah Shivaya.
Namaste, how are you?
Very, very good, Sangeeta. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Thank you so much for all this session today. I just want you to elaborate on one thing. You did say that that you should never jump from experience to experience. Okay, and at least for me, I can say that yes, I've had a few teachers who have guided me in the best way, but of course, it's always if I want to experience this is what I feel, but I'm already doing a certain practice.
Yes.
So what is your take on that? Should I not experience this and then decide for myself what's working?
If at all, Sangeeta ji, you have been given a diksha perfectly by a proper guru.
Well, that's the whole conflicting question for me. It's yes, that what I've received, the initiation or a diksha, is from a teacher, is from a guru who has had his lineage, who has had families of teachers, and it's come from total and of course a self-realization as well. I am nobody to judge. I'm not probably in a position to judge whether the diksha I've received is in line with the granthas or in line with the scriptures, because I don't have the bandwidth to understand the scriptures. So where do I stand in such a scenario?
If at all, just now I spoke a sutra from Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. Kumbhita rechita vapi purita va yada bhave tadante shantanamasa shaktya shantah prakashite. Yeah. Okay. Or I will say another one to you right now. Sakarena bahiryati hakarena vishet punna hamsam tyamu mantram jive japati nityasha. These are the techniques given in the scriptures themselves. Trika Tantra says, give the scripture, because every letter coming out of my mouth right now is working inside you like a Shakti. Every letter is Mother Kundalini herself. So the scripture also has to be given by the master to the student. Then understanding of that scripture also has to be given from the master to the student. Yantra, you are the device then. Okay, you are the device then which has to utilize this tantra, which is a technique, and mantra. within yourselves. So the entire process becomes a triad again. Yantra, you as the divine device, as the body and the mind. Tantra, which is the process of centering the awareness completely inside of you, and the understanding of that mantra completely and totally has to be given by the Guru. And he has to speak to you in that specific language of truth as well. Because language is one of the most important factors, Sangeeta ji. Language can take you rising and language can take you falling as well. So you have to understand and you have to choose a master who has had a lineage, but who has to give you all three aspects in totality, not keeping one aspect from you. And by the way, Trika Tantra in its nature is very, very open. And we discuss, like, see, we discuss with the student one-to-one basis as well. And we see if that, like I have a student known as Anandji. Okay. Anandji is a Ram Bhakt. He does the japa of Ram all the time. Hanuman Chalisa is his favorite. I tell them, because Trika Tantra is open so much into its nature itself, we accept that too. We accept your practice too, but also apply this to this as well. So we make it very, very weaving in nature. Sangeeta ji, it's very, Tantra is weaving. The word itself means weaving itself. So we tell you, okay, Sangeeta ji, you have this practice, na? Theek hai. What is missing is this or this. Include that. So your practice shall become much better. That's all our work is, to complete you fully and make you absorb fully into that bhakti, jnana and kriya. So that ichha also, your will towards God, reaching this God consciousness and absorbing into this God consciousness rises along with it profoundly, and you are propelled into that. Not a slow and steady climb anymore, but a propelling into that fully happens to you. So it's all accepting. Our practices are all accepting. So not to worry about that at all. Other dikshas, because Sangeeta ji, means are plenty, meant is one. Yeah. So every part takes you towards that itself. Hitesh ji, tell me.
Yes. So, जैसे मैं भी I'm also practicing like some kriyas for some time.
Right.
And the thing is, like one of my teacher 8 years back taught me some kriya into, I think it was from Shaivism only.
Okay.
Where every you bring your awareness to each chakra with mantras and raise it, right? I'm doing it. Yes.
Pratichakre kramatkame tadidrupa gacchante. That's what it says, from one chakra to the other, you can move with bija mantras as well. But Hitesh, that's a very basic practice.
Yes, yeah. But now the thing is that is somehow I'm practicing it for some time. It has sink into me, right? So now the first teacher is gone. He passed away, and
Right.
I'm like, I felt something is off in the practice. I could not find anyone to correct. So maybe, do you provide 101 corrections and guidance?
When I'm there, no, Hitesh, I'm going to be with you guys. Completely and totally with you guys. I want to be with you. I want to experience everything with you. And I want to be one with you. So I will correct wherever the practices are, practice is stopped or something somewhere is going wrong. But what you're doing, bija mantras and mudras, that kind of a practice, we generally keep it only for the morning, so that the entire day goes completely centered. Then we will include, I will tell you to, Hitesh, now you have to move to an evening practice. Today I have given you that practice today. Yeah. Start that as an evening practice where you, where you can drop the baggage of all karmas that you have loaded onto yourself, and you're entire day you have been taking actions. You have to keep the bag down and become that smart, tiny little child who runs away for play, and keep this meditation as play within yourself itself, which I have given you today. So 15-20 minutes, do this meditation, see where exactly it takes you.
So no, I was asking that like I am from Delhi and I might not be able to come Dubai this time. And do you also give one-on-one online sessions?
Yes, I do.
I can to whom to connect?
Absolutely. Like, I'll keep my number. My number will be there on the WhatsApp group itself, and you can join in. Yeah. Like, just call up that number, take an appointment with me, and we can process this properly.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah. Also, we have a Sangha which meets regularly every Thursday.
Is there a WhatsApp group for that?
Yeah, there is a separate WhatsApp group for that. I will include everybody in that too. But this, Shaktipata is served to you every Thursday as well. So you stay in the brilliance of this illuminated energy and consciousness all the time. Plus, I'm available via WhatsApp every time. It's gone are those days where we couldn't be in touch with you. My Guruji had to I used to go to him Thursdays, as I said, sit down. You don't have to do that anymore. I want to talk to you, Amitabh ji. Just you can message me, and if I'm free, I'll tell you, call now.
Perfect.
My work is like that. Yeah.
That would be moving.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ji. Anybody else who wants to ask a few questions? Otherwise, bowing down to the energy and consciousness, I may close this session. Sanjuji, please ask. Asking you to unmute.
Yeah. Hello, Namaste, Guru.
Om Namah Shivaya. I can hear you properly.
Yeah. I'm doing this meditation, like normal meditation, which is like this. It's called like chakra healing.
Yes.
It's but I'm doing almost like since 2 years, but still like I can't get much about this thing, or maybe I don't know. I don't understand about the meditation.
So basically, I'll have to check. When I'm there, no, Sanjuji, what will happen is we will be starting it with the balancing work itself first. We'll be entirely 18th will be the first meditation itself is that bija mantras and mudras. So you will be able to know what exactly you're doing, where exactly you're doing wrong, and what exactly is happening with you. And that practice, when I correct it, follow it as a morning practice itself.
Okay, because we are working here, so even we don't have time also, no? Like when we actually meet, whenever I have time, I try to do meditation, even like 30 minutes, 20 minutes. Yeah, there should be like proper time.
Sanjuji, we have to make time for all these things.
Okay.
Realize this, because time, is one of the biggest illusions. That I don't have time is one of the biggest illusions that we hold within ourselves. Maya is that illusion. She creates time itself. It actually doesn't exist, but it is. It makes us feel that it exists for us. So recognize that time is a very limiting. We should come out of that limitation from within and make time, because bija mantra and mudras does not take more than 20 minutes.
Okay.
And one can make 20 minutes in a day, in the morning, and in the evening about 20 minutes again. Yes, Sanjuji.
Yeah. So what is the best time to do morning meditation and the evening?
Any time is good time, because time is Bhairava himself, as we call it. Again.
Yeah. Also, there is like some people they call like morning 3:30 to before like sunrise.
No need.
There is
no
a
need.
Brahma.
No need, Sanjuji, because see, again, we have to talk to you about Brahma Muhurta right now. In Tibet, okay, if you live in Tibet, the sun will rise at about 5 o'clock in the morning. If you stay in Kolkata, sunrise happens at 5 o'clock in the morning. For Mumbai, let's say, sunrise will happen at 6:30, 6:15, 6:30, if it rises at 5 o'clock. The time before, 1.5 hours before sunrise, is the best time for meditation, Sanjuji, as we call it. Okay. But keeping ourselves bound again into that illusion of time. Now, 3, 4 a.m., watches were not there when these Shastras were written. Correct?
Yeah.
Watches were not existent. So 1.5 hours before sunrise, where everything is quiet and still, that time was told to be the best time for meditation. But what if you have a life that does not allow you to wake up at that time? Then what? Then you should not meditate. There's nothing written in the Shastras like that or scriptures like that. Whenever you wake up, first thing what you should do is pay attention to this energy and consciousness inside of you. That is your true responsibility. 20-minute practice, morning practice, this done, this done, this done. Okay, and now I'm ready to get out into the world open. Then coming back again from that world, you have to absorb within yourself back again. For again 20, 25 minutes to 30 minutes. More than sufficient. Sanjuji, as I said before, for Kashmir Shaivism, we talk about yoga in action. Throughout the day, you can practice watching this gap between the two breaths. Watching this gap between the two breaths. Breathing in, breathing out, and pause. Don't take the next breath in again so quickly. Okay? You can practice that with your eyes open as well. From traveling from point A to point B, you can keep practicing. Don't do this while you are driving, okay? It will take you in another world altogether. That's very, very dangerous. But if you're sitting in an office waiting for somebody, you're cooking food, let's say, keep this breath going in, out, pause, in, out, pause. Keep doing that. See where you go in next 10, 15, 10, 12 days itself. How quiet the mind becomes. And how beautiful and blissful life becomes. Triat Tantra is not about waiting for years and years of practice. It gives its effects right now.
Yeah, definitely I will. And also I have one more question.
Yes.
What is this Kaulachari Vidya?
Kaula is one of the offshoots of Triat Tantra, which is which involves itself into very, very secretive practices like Dasha Mahavidyas, which are known as the Shakti Vidyas themselves. Shakti Vidyas, I got taught by my Guruji after 4 years of intensive practice. So those are Shakti Vidyas. Those should not be learned that Diksha should not be given unless and until the student is absolutely and completely ready for it.
How dangerous it is, like if we...
Kaula should not be given, right? If you practice that right now, it might turn your life upside down completely.
Okay.
If you are not prepared for the surge of energy.
Thank
Firstly,
you.
you'll have to start practicing Sanjuji on a daily basis. Little by little, we increase that practice. Prepare ourselves towards this. There has to be a lot of preparation for the body. The cleansing has to happen. A lot of things have to happen from within. Firstly, cleansing of thoughts. Then the cleansing of feelings and emotions that are locked inside of you, which are not serving you. And then the actions that you take have to be purified accordingly. And then these practices are slowly and steadily given by the masters.
Yeah. Also, like maybe I would like to personally meet you, and also I want to discuss like some others.
Absolutely.
Like, where do you live?
Yeah, for sure. Like 18th and 19th, I am there in Dubai. If you're in Dubai, please come and meet me.
18 and 19.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, can I get the location or anything like?
Laila will be able to help you out with. Laila and Kathy are there who will be able to help you out with everything possibly. And
Yeah, sure.
come join in, be a part of this grace and the flow of grace. I can't say more than that.
Sure. We will be so lucky to maybe. Like I already feel like so blessed. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sanjuji. And remember this blessing is of the Lord and the goddess herself, Shiva and Shakti themselves. I'm just here from their speech I talk, from their sentences I give. That's all I do here. That's my work on this planet. Nothing more.
Sure. Thank you.
Om.
Oh,
Okay, anyone else having any questions? These will be the last two questions. Otherwise, we will close this class for today. Guru Naman Lama Anisha.
So that group you mentioned
Okay.
on.
By the way, Hitesh, after I do Dubai, I'm directly coming to Delhi. So
Oh, that's
Shaktipata
amazing.
session is there immediately after Dubai. I'm traveling to Delhi. So, like, we will include you in that group. And
Okay,
yeah,
I'll be
just
there. I'll be also there.
every Thursday, just attend. Right now, we are reciting the Shiva Sutras and
Mhm.
understanding. I'm coming into an exposition of Shiva Sutras on Thursdays. We are on the 12th sutra itself, and there are 87 sutras in that. And each sutra is a seed towards enlightenment, as we call it. So we will understand that. Then we sit down for a meditation as well. And then, of course, sharing also will be there, Hitesh. Yeah. Thank
Amazing.
you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sangeeta, Farzana, Kareen, Megha, Vishal, Sanju, Sara, and Anisha. Om Namah Shivaya. Thank you for waiting up.
Thank you.
And
thank
see you
you
soon.
so much.
Absolutely.
Thank
Thank you. Om
Thank
Namah
you.
Shivaya.
you. Thank you. Thank
Om
you.
Namah
Om
Shivaya.
Namah Shivaya. Thank you so much.